It's your boy, everyone's favorite, the cure for the common wrestler, the dad bod god, Chris Cadillac. And you know what? I'm drinking at Moe's. I'm literally looking at him in the face, having a beer, and cheersing him every 2 seconds. You're listening to one of the best wrestling podcasts out there. So, hey, cheers.
All right, everybody, welcome to Drinkin Moe's, the weekly recap, where I'm going to go over the wrestling shows that I saw throughout the week and my thoughts, my opinions, and like I just said, they're my opinions. If you agree with them, awesome. If you don't, tell me in the comments on the YouTube version what you think that differs from mine. Love to talk wrestling with people, as is evidenced by all the interviews I've been getting done. But let's get right to it. First show of the week, Monday Night Raw. Now, I gotta say, there was some decent parts, and although anymore, kind of the usual for the WWE stuff. The first kind of what the fuck I gotta say is with this Dana Brooke Becky Lynch match. Now, no offense to Dana Brooke, but why the fuck is Becky Lynch going after the 24/7 title? You know, for the longest time, for wrestling fans, this 24/7 title has been a joke. And you know, having somebody the caliber of Becky Lynch, who has main evented WrestleManias, won multiple titles, has been kind of the face, or one of the faces of the WWE women's division, going after that. Come on. But anyways, it was basically just a why match. And then again, no offense to Dana Brooke, but Becky Lynch losing to her, like, what? Although, in her defense, Asuka did kind of assist with holding down her foot and blah blah blah. So Dana Brooke ended up coming out on top there. Next off, we have a confrontation between Riddle and The Miz. Starts with some, going over insulting people, and then, Riddle saying Miz doesn't have any balls, and then before you know it, Miz ends up getting his tuxedo pants ripped off, and it ends up, air quotes, ruining the little celebration for the new premiere of Miz and Mrs. Whatever. Next off, Street Profits versus the Usos. Okay, on paper, great match. We know that if you really let these two teams go against each other, they'll put on a hell of a match. Street Profits, Usos, great tag teams. I'm a fan of tag team wrestling, but and I can, in a way, kind of understand the way this went with Street Profits getting a count-out victory. It leads to possibilities of a feud. So I guess we'll see what comes of that. Now, that would be a match I wouldn't mind seeing. Hopefully they actually get something going for those tag titles. Alright, next off. Good Lord. Dominic versus Veer Mahan. Now, I gotta say, I'm so damn bored with this Veer Mahan. Like, I don't know if it was the months upon months of the same vignette. Veer is coming, blah, blah, blah. And then he finally comes and ends up beating up some guy less than half his size. Doesn't really... I don't know. I do not know with this one. No offense to Dominic. His father, Rey Mysterio, is an absolute fucking legend. And, you know, hopefully with a little more experience under his belt, Dominic can, you know, rise up to fill the pretty big boots that he has to fill. Well, talking about Rey Mysterio there, he ends up coming out and, you know, to assist his son after Veer Mahaan wouldn't let go of that submission maneuver of his, causing Veer Mahaan to win by DQ. Now, I might be out of order here, so whatever. But next off, I got listed Omos versus Cedric Alexander. Pretty much a fucking squash match. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, I'm pretty big on Cedric Alexander. Big fan of his. And I guess if they're trying to build Omos back up after taking the loss at the Hell in the Cell, guess they're doing it. All right. After this, we got Ezekiel, not Elias, versus Otis. Now, Ezekiel ends up pulling out the win here. He with a crucifix pin. Okay. Kevin Owens comes out to challenge, he challenges Kevin Owens. I almost got that mixed up there. Ezekiel challenges Kevin Owens to another fight. And, you know, Kevin Owens didn't really get what he wanted in having Ezekiel admit that he's Elias. So he said, if you end up doing it, you say it, you'll get the match. He does, but then says that he was lying. So, well, I guess they got the match. Next off, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, and Doudrop for a number one contender spot against Bianca Belair. Now, I'll go ahead and say this right now. This was probably the match of the night. And it's great to see after, you know, I'll firmly believe, you know, WWE hasn't really done the best with the women's division. Just saying that's my opinion. But this they did pretty good here. And with Ripley gaining the number one contender spot, hey, we got a pretty good match there. You know, Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, that's going to be awesome. And I would be crazy if I left this out. The segment where we are told we are going to get a new member of Judgment Day. They're all in the ring. Out comes Finn Balor. Yes, that's Finn Balor. People that say Baylor, just what the fuck? Pronounce the damn name right. Anyways. Out he comes, thanking Edge, and then, you know, here's what everybody's been talking about. The Judgment Day turns on Edge. Edge is out. Balor's in. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Going to be definitely interesting to see where this goes. Now, like I said, match of the night for tonight goes back to Rhea Ripley winning that fatal four-way match for the number one contender spot for the Raw Women's Championship. All right, everybody. Now we are on to AEW. First off for them, AEW Dynamite. Pretty good start to this one. the Casino Battle Royal, because they announced last week that we were going to have a Battle Royal who the winner will go on to face Jon Moxley in the main event to determine who goes on to Forbidden Door to face off, who it's going to be determined between Hiroshi Tanahashi and Hiroki Goto. Going to be a pretty good damn match in itself. But to start this off, we got Andrade being the final entrant. He's been off for a little bit, but hey, he's back. Did pretty good here. Max Caster and the Ass Boys. Thank you, Danhausen. But they come out, and you know what? I gotta admit, I'm getting a kick out of this, where Max starts off the rap. The Ass Boys come in saying a couple city names that obviously aren't the one they're in. And then, they end up getting it right. So, hey, I'm loving it. I gotta say it. Now, other cool thing in this match, well, I thought it was cool. Swerved Lee when Isaiah Swerve Scott swerved his air quotes buddy Keith Lee, eliminated from the match. Keith Lee looked pretty damn pissed. I would not be the person I would not want to be the guy that would piss him off. He looks scary pissed off. Now, the guy ends up pulling out the win in this match, Kyle O'Reilly. Now, that is going to lead to main event, which we'll go into later. Kyle O'Reilly versus Jon Moxley. Those two together. All right. Next off, we have the announcement of a new title in AEW, the All Atlantic title. I got it, and I've said it on Twitter. I said it to a few people. This new title of theirs looks oddly like the Gift of the Gods title from Lucha Underground. Hey, it looks pretty cool. I mean, that title belt looked cool. This one does, so hey, I'm not going to complain. Now, they got a little tournament set up where tonight's match was Pac versus Buddy Matthews. Then they're also going to have, I believe next week, leading up to Forbidden Door, Ethan Page versus Miro. I'm sorry, Ethan Page. I love your toy hunt vlogs, but I don't know if I like your chances there. And then we also have Penta Escuro, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, versus Malachi Black. That's going to be an entertaining as hell match. Then we got a yet to be determined match that will happen over in New Japan. I guess we'll see how that turns out. I'm looking into seeing if I can figure that one out, and we'll try to break the news. But when I break news on this channel, we're going to have verified sources. I'm not just going to be giving my opinion and passing it off as news like I've seen happen. It ain't going to happen here. But next match we have, and it's going to be the only one on tonight's show for this tournament, Pac the Bastard versus Buddy Matthews. Holy shit, pretty damn amazing match. A lot that you'd expect from both of them. They can both speed like crazy. Hard-hitting, athletic. Great way to start off the tournament. Because, you think oh my God, another singles title in AEW. We were hoping for the trios title. Well, word is eventually we'll get those, but hey, if this is any indication of what we're going to get from this tournament, hey, might be some pretty good wrestling to watch, so sit back and enjoy it. Pac ends up pulling out the win here. So, hey, he goes on to face the winner of Ethan Page or Miro. To be honest, I gotta go with Miro there. Like I said, Ethan Page, sorry. Alright. Next up, we have a little bit of promo. Well, promo. I don't know if Eddie Kingston really likes to call them promos anymore, but we got Eddie Kingston challenging Jake Hager for Rampage, which, as of me filming this, it's going to be happening here in a couple hours. So I'm going to enjoy that. I'm a big Eddie Kingston fan. His intensity, I love it. Next match that we have. Oh, no, wait. Trying to go as chronological as I can here. Next on my notes here, we got Trent Beretta doing a promo in the ring saying, wanting another shot for him and Roppongi Vice, him and Rocky Romero, for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Because the match, the last match they had ended in a DQ after Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan came in and ran in. And, didn't think FTR would want to, win like that. So they're about to, you want to be mad at the guys that, cost you the match. Well, coincidentally, the guy that leads the faction that cost them the match, Will Ospreay, ends up coming out here. And, people are excited. Understandably so. Will Ospreay, one of the best in the fucking world right now, coming out and, does this little signal, and here comes Ozzy Open. They attack. And, Hanare. He used to be, no offense to him, kind of, air quotes, jobberish, but hey, since he's joined United Empire, I'm loving the intensity. I've always kind of been a fan of him. This intensity that he's showing being a part of United Empire, I'm loving it. Then, next match after that whole thing happened, we have Hangman Page versus David Finlay. Now, if you haven't watched Dynamite yet, or even if you have, go back and look at that thing that David Finlay is wearing in the ring. Looks a lot like something his daddy, Fit Finlay, ended up wearing for a while. But hey, cool little tribute to Fit. Adam Cole ends up being on commentary. Okay. Hangman and Adam Cole have had a little bit of thing here. Now, Tope Suicida landing. That was one of my things on my notes here. Ooh. And then, amazing match outside of that, really. And I'll go into this. I had two matches, probably could be three, really, that tied for match of the night. This one was one of them. It was a great match. Now, afterwards, after Hangman, I gotta get that, Hangman won. Hangman cuts a promo challenging the one and only Okada for Forbidden Door for the IWGP Championship. Now, there is a New Japan show where Okada is defending against, pulling a blank, but Okada is defending, so he might not even be that champion at Forbidden Door. So I guess we'll see. But Hangman versus Okada would be a pretty decent match. Adam Cole butts in. I guess maybe that feud is continuing. Okay. Next off, little segment with Thunder Rosa. Kind of glad she's getting a damn segment on the show. Open challenge. She's like, I want to defend the damn title. And wouldn't you know, Marina Shafir ends up being the one to answer. This could be pretty damn interesting. Like, fall asleep there. But, alright. Next up, we have Wardlow doing a promo saying he wants to go for the TNT title. But then we find out that this next Wednesday on Dynamite, he's going to have to do a 1-on-20 match. Okay. Next little segment we have here, Young Bucks start off with, talking about wanting to go for the titles, the tag titles. Parties come in, talking about, they should be next in line. Okay. Then Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus come in with Christian. Christian ends up setting up a whole 3-way ladder match. And you know what? Go back and watch this. The face on Jungle Boy. He's just standing there behind Christian like, what the fuck, dude? Hey, it ended up, it was a pretty entertaining segment. Next off, we finally have Thunder Rosa, Marina Shafir for the AEW Women's title. Now, I've heard a lot of people talking, like, defending Marina Shafir's music. Now, I don't hate it, but I will say this, it kind of makes me want to fall asleep when I'm hearing it. But anyways, the two, this entire match are just knocking the shit out of each other. Holy crap. And like I said, it's kind of nice after everything that's been going on, Thunder Rosa not being on TV, even though she's a champ, and, people questioning AEW women's division booking. But hey, this was a pretty damn nice segment, I gotta say. Great match, hard hitting. Then Thunder Rosa ends up winning with a roll-up. I mean, that was kind of anticlimactic, but hey, it was a great match other than that. Then Marina Shafir ends up attacking, and Toni Storm comes in for the save, and, looking like maybe we'll end up here soon getting Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa. That would be pretty good, I gotta say. And, almost forgot during that match, since AEW this week was in Kansas City, the Kansas City Chiefs offense, I believe it was the offensive line, was shown in the crowd, front row. Lucky bastards. Anyways, pretty cool. They got to be there. Next, we have the promo for the baddies. Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, Kiera Hogan. Now, it was kind of funny how their manager there messed up Statlander's name. But we find out that on Rampage we're gonna have Statlander versus Red Velvet. That should be all right. That should be a pretty decent match. Next off, the match we've all been waiting for. Kyle O'Reilly versus John Moxley. All right. Now, I gotta say that this was everything I thought it would be when Kyle O'Reilly won that Battle Royal. Hard hitting, both. Basically a damn striking clinic is how I have it down here in my notes. Damn striking clinic. Great mat wrestling from really both of them. I mean, we kind of knew Kyle O'Reilly could go there, but John Moxley was really showing it. Pretty damn good. This was a part that I particularly liked and wanted to make sure I highlighted here. Kyle O'Reilly biting the ropes to, kind of, he's touching the ropes, you gotta let go in the hold. Moxley lets go of the hold. Kyle O'Reilly's still biting the ropes, so he kicks the ropes. I fucking loved it. It was fucking awesome. Anyways, after a pretty goddamn hard-fought match, John Moxley ends up winning. So he's going on to Forbidden Door to face either Tanahashi or Hiroki Goto. That is going to be crazy. Probably this Forbidden Door show already is shaping up pretty damn good. Now, I said match of the night. I kind of have three kind of tied because it was so damn hard. Hangman Finlay, O'Reilly Moxley, and then Pac Buddy Matthews. All three great. Too hard for me to choose between three of them. But amazing show. All right. Now we're on to Impact Wrestling. Now, before we get into the show, I gotta say, a lot of people are kind of sleeping on Impact. Doesn't really help them that, a lot of people don't get access. So that kind of hurts. If you have Impact Plus like I do, you might just have to wait till the next day. But hey, that ain't too bad. Or they got a deal there on their YouTube channel. But, and this is just for me, if I'm already paying for Impact Plus, I'm not paying extra for a YouTube thing. But hey, regardless, do not sleep on Impact. They are putting on some pretty consistently good stuff. Let's get on to the show. First off, they did a recap last week. Sami Callihan promo. Fuck. Intense. First match of the night, we have Tenille Dashwood versus Rosemary. Oof. Hard shots from the both. Now, when you have somebody going up against a heel tag team, somebody from the tag team in a singles match, you're kind of expecting some outside interference, which there was plenty of in this match. And so I gotta make note of Rosemary in this move. The commentary team called the upside down. Basically, she's upside down. But anyways, it looked amazing. Just saying. Now, okay. Rosemary ends up just completely ragdolling Tenille Dashwood all around. Like, damn. And also another crazy submission move out of Rosemary. And you know what? Not from that move, but she does end up winning the match. And as I kind of expected, some attacking after the match from the Influence, Dashwood and Madison Rain. Okay, but then Ty Valkyrie ends up coming in and helping with the save, and there's a little face off there with Valkyrie and Rosemary, because they've had a little bit of a contentious history there. So, okay. Next off, we have the Good Brothers going down to Sandy Fork, Delaware to hunt down the Briscoe brothers. Huge Briscoe brothers fan. I mean, I am a kind of fan of the Good Brothers too, but mostly Briscoes. But they end up going through some pretty entertaining stuff. But then they find, Papa Briscoe. And then all of a sudden, here comes the Briscoe brothers. Goddamn. Briscoe brothers, entertaining as hell. Big on them. Showing off some of that redneck kung fu. But hey, entertaining segment. I'm looking forward to that match at Slammiversary. Briscoes versus Good Brothers for those Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles. Next off, Steve Maclin versus PCO. PCO won. Oh, damn. Big fan of his. Some of the stuff that man is pulling off at his age and his size, you wouldn't expect. But, I kind of describe him like a human wrecking ball, pretty much. But there was one spot where, you wouldn't think, even PCO would come back. Steve Maclin has him tied up in like the Tree of Woe, but on the barricade. And then does the spear. And I forget where the hell this happened, but PCO had this pretty damn nasty shoulder thing. Like, you can see kind of the bone popping up there, like he had a separated shoulders. So nasty looking. And he still ends up fighting off some of the security. Maclin ends up the winner of this match. When you watch a PCO match, be sure to watch out for this maneuver, the de-animator, as they call it. It's like a rolling, like flipping off the top rope and onto the guy that's laying on the ring apron. Nasty. All right. Now, Deonna Purrazzo and Tasha Steelz have a little powwow. And, there's a little tension there. But hey, Deonna ends up, she wants that damn Knockouts title again. And then towards the end, the real life friends, Deonna and Chelsea Green end up talking, and looks like maybe we'll have an alliance here. Who knows? Now I'm loving this next part because they've been doing pretty good lately, hyping up the 20th anniversary of Impact Wrestling. Pretty good, 20 years. Bringing in a lot of past Impact talent, and even some of the intros, the show intros are, from past things for Impact. But today on Impact, they had Matt Morgan, who was known for a while as the Blueprint, talking about his time in Impact. And he's interrupted by Vincent of Honor No More. Now, I'm kind of a big Vincent fan, so I'm not complaining there. But Matt Morgan says he doesn't like Honor No More's chances in this match that's coming up for Slammiversary. Honor No More versus 5 Impact Originals. They already got 3 right now. The Motor City Machine Guns and Frankie Kazarian. I guess we'll have to wait to find out who those other 2 are. They don't got much longer, though. They only got like about another week. Next off, we got Joe Doring versus the walking weapon, Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander, I'm glad he's getting everything that he's been getting. Hell of a talent. Ends up having this like vice grip on it. Headlock. It just wasn't letting go. And match ends with it ends up by brain fart. Ends up by DQ after some of the Violent by Design guys try to assist by hitting Josh Alexander with a flagpole, but it gets stolen by Josh Alexander and he breaks it over Joe Doring. So Joe Doring, DQ, ends up winning the match. Now we see stuff on Ace Austin, who it's now known joined the Bullet Club all over there in Japan. Callahan and Moose have a pretty intense little backstage fight segment. Cardona and his buddy Myers here. For some reason, Cardona thinks that just because he still has the title, even though he lost it, he's still the champion. So he gives it to his buddy. Now, those that, pay attention to Impact Wrestling know that Rich Swann ended up beating Matt Cardona for that title. But, some trickery like the heels always do. So, Myers the champion. But, Slammiversary is going to get settled. Next off, 3 of Honor No More. Eddie Edwards, Mike Bennett, and Matt Taven versus the Motor City Machine Guns and Frankie Kazarian. This was a great match. Great match, definitely. A lot of great triple teaming from the Impact Originals. The Honor No More preventing the tag on multiple occasions. A whole bunch of everybody taking flight in this match. Damn. And then what the hell I right down there? Oh, Mike Bennett, if you by chance end up watching this, people talk about Paul Heyman guy. I'm a Mike Bennett guy. I'm just saying it right now. I'm a Mike Bennett guy. And shit, I'm an Honor No More guy. Keep it going, guys. But, they end up attacking the Impact Originals. And then Heath comes out, tries to go for the save. But then, the numbers game comes and gets him again. And they end up taking him out, tying up his ankle and chair and, boom. And looks like he ain't going to be one of the other 2 for that 10-man tag at Slammiversary. I guess we'll have to wait to find out. All right, everybody. Now we're on to Smackdown. Tonight's episode started off with Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus for a Money in the Bank qualifier. It was a hard-hitting match. Physical as you'd expect from those 2. Both can knock the shit out of somebody. Chair comes into use, and they go over the announce table. But this is a funny part. They ran that commercial, but went into a commercial break right after that happened, and it was that commercial with McIntyre, Sheamus, and I'm spacing off on who else, but talking about going through a table. I don't know, the timing on it was funny, but ends up going, they both, like I said, chairs come in use, and they both, I guess, get disqualified. So I guess neither of them qualified for the Money in the Bank. I know later on Drew McIntyre went in to talk, get qualified, so who the hell knows. Next, we find out some unfortunate news that Cody Rhodes, with that nasty injury he got, is going to be out for 9 months. Going to take him to damn near Mania if it goes the entire 9 months. Unfortunate that happened the way it did. Then they have Lacey Evans motivational promo. Hey, fellow veteran, so I salute you. Then that goes into Lacey Evans versus Xia Li for a women's Money in the Bank qualifier. And okay, now I don't know why this popped up for me, but when they were doing Xia Li's entrance, they mentioned she was from Chongqing, China. I don't know enough about China to know if there's actually a town there called Chongqing. I didn't want to come across racist or nothing, because that was like, wait, Chongqing, whatever. But anyways, it was actually a halfway decent match. Lacey Evans definitely showed off some pretty impressive stuff, and she ended up pulling out the win. She qualifies for the women's Money in the Bank, so happy for her. Next, we have a Ronda Rousey promo, and then Shotzi comes out and interrupts and challenges her. Then they end up having Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey. And you know what? Ronda Rousey actually made it kind of believable here. I get anybody that's watched wrestling with like myself or anybody else that has watched it as long as I have, you can kind of know that Ronda was going to win. But this match made it believable that, there might be a chance. But it went the way I thought it would, and Ronda Rousey pulled out the win. Next off, we got Gunther versus Ricochet for the Intercontinental title. And you know what? I was hoping this wasn't going to be a squash. And you know what? It wasn't. It wasn't a typical squash match. It actually looked like they tried to show Ricochet some respect. But in the end, we got a new champ. So congratulations, Gunther. Next off, we got main event, Riddle versus Sami Zayn. Now, if Sami Zayn won, Riddle barred from Smackdown. If Riddle won, then Riddle gets a shot at Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal Championship. Now, the thing is there going to be pay-per-view TV? Because, you know what, they haven't had Roman there to defend shit, so whatever. But Riddle ends up winning. Wasn't really anything special there. So I guess we'll be getting Riddle versus Roman Reigns. Alright, everybody, now we're on to Rampage for AEW. Now, it started off kind of different. They did, on TV, they had the whole regular intro. But then when they went for the match, they were already in there and about to go at it. All right, whatever. I got told by a few people there that it was weird, but hey, we have Hager showing off, MMA skills, lots of good striking, lots of good submission holds. But Eddie Kingston, right when it looked like Hager was, gonna control most of the damn match, Eddie Kingston pulled it out to, like, you'd have to damn near kill him to beat him. Sometimes as intense as that guy is, I can kind of see it. But, after 2 spinning back fists, it kind of looked like a version of Jericho's Judas effect. I think that's technically an elbow. But 2 of them, and Eddie Kingston pulls out the win. Pretty good match. Next off, we have Satnam Singh, the freaking giant, and Jay Lethal versus Davey Vega and Matt. I couldn't hear the damn name. Regardless, complete squash match. Nothing really special there. Then pretty entertaining Hookhausen segment where they talk about stuff they bought after their big win at Double or Nothing. I got a kick out of it. Next off, Red Velvet versus Chris Statlander. Now, pretty impressive power slam to start off because, Red Velvet tried to run after her before she even got in the ring. Then getting back, Statlander kind of just throws her, and there were a few points in this match where it seemed like she was just ragdolling her around. There was still some times where Red Velvet got in some offense, so it wasn't like a completely one-sided affair. And goddamn, how strong is that Statlander, man? She something else. But Statlander ends up pulling out the win, and baddies end up attacking after. We kind of saw this coming with, Anna Jay coming out, and then, Numbers, and then Athena comes out, and she doesn't even get to the ring. Security holds her back, whatever. But then we're on to the main event. FTR and Trent Beretta versus the United Empire of Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. Now, I'm going to have to say this is probably match of the night, in my opinion. Lots of speed and athleticism from United Empire. Not to say that there wasn't from FTR and Trent. But, yeah, match of the night. It was pretty damn good. It's between that and Kingston and Hager. But, yeah, they told a great story because, there's a whole thing about, FTR and, Roppongi Vice having the match and United Empire interrupted. They're really setting up for something at Forbidden Door. I liked it. I liked it a lot. That one for match of the night. Now on to what I think for match of the week. Oh boy. That is going to be a tough one. There was, obviously FTR and Trent versus United Empire. There was that amazing first match between Pac and Buddy Matthews to start off the All-Atlantic title tournament. There was, who was it Hangman versus Dave Finlay that was also pretty damn good. But you know what? Match of the week. I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go with Pac versus Buddy Matthews. That's my pick for match of the week.